Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. Today is another lucky dip, which I do once a month on the fourth Monday, I believe. It's taken me a little while because I didn't give myself much time to get ready. I guess I've been kind of spoiled in my previous lucky dips in that they weren't very complicated media to work with, but I drew a few different things this time and I needed extra time to consider how I was going to use these. I'm still not exactly sure, but let's go over what I drew. Well, I guess let me explain what a lucky dip is in the first place. A lucky dip is when I take all of my art snacks and other art subscription box supplies, which I have a great many of because I've been subscribed to Art Snacks for 4 years now, and when you get these art subscription boxes, you'll sometimes get supplies that it's fun to play with, but you never really use them again. So I saw another artist on YouTube doing this, and she had been inspired by a makeup artist who was doing it with their makeup subscription box supplies. And the whole thing is you put them all together, or in my case I made a spreadsheet that lists them out so they're numbered. And so you have all your supplies listed, and then I go to random.org and choose 5 random numbers, and those numbers correspond to which art supplies I'm going to use. So this time I drew first these. Well, I don't know first, but they're on my left, so I'm going to choose them first. Watercolor art crayons, which I've never actually used before, so I'm going to have to open these up. I have to go get a little box cutter or something because they're all wrapped in plastic. It's interesting this time. So this is one of several things that I got randomly, selected randomly, where it was more than one. Because if Art Snacks, for instance, sends me 2 of these in a single box, then I'm going to count it as one item for the lucky dip. So these both came in the same box. They're the same product, but they're 2 different colors. So I got, I think it's rose pink and aqua green. So they're watercolor crayons. So I imagine I write with them and then do water, or maybe I could do water first and then write with them because they're like solid. So unlike watercolor markers where doing the marker on a wet page kind of just keeps the pigment inside the marker, these are solid crayons. So I think I could actually experiment with that. The next in line here is this Crink K90 paint marker, permanent paint marker. I believe it's acrylic. It's basically acrylic paint, and I had to double check which number this is because I actually have 2 K70 ink markers in black. I get a lot of black Crink markers, but this one is different. This K90 is different. It's a paint marker rather than an ink marker. You click this thing on the back to prime it and stuff. I'm not sure I'm going to use it, but the next thing I got, relatively new, this Micron PN, Pigma, Sakura Pigma Micron PN, which stands for plastic nib. So it's just a little pen, just a black pen. So the next thing I got was the same deal as these, where it came all in a box, and actually this was a special box. It wasn't a normal Art Snacks box. Like everybody got this special bonus box. And it actually came with 2 of these because the point of the box was to be like test them against one another, because so it says A here, set A of these 2 colors and then set B of these 2 colors. I think it was that there were no heavy metals or something, because traditionally art pigments for paint come from dangerous substances, but that's how you get that beautiful color. So I think they sent these out to let you test, you know, show that, yeah, it's pretty much the same color, no difference in color, but it's safer. I'm not a fan of acrylic, so I didn't even bother testing it because I'm like, I don't care. But I put them in my spreadsheet. So I drew these, so this will be the first time using these too. So same thing with this. First time ever trying these, even trying them. And they included a normal tube of titanium white. So these are all acrylic paints, yellow medium and red medium, and then the acrylic titanium white all came together in the same box, except there were actually two each of these, A and B, but well, I don't need to use both the A and the B tube. They're the same color. Finally, the last thing I got that was yet another thing that was multiple things in one row under one number is this set of pencils, graphite and charcoal. So I'm definitely going to have to do something where I'm using not only the graphite pencils, but this black charcoal and then this white pastel. So I'm going to need to get a sharpener, I just realized. Well, I guess I'll wait and see if I actually need it. But so I actually have a ton of supplies to work with. My rules for myself with this is that I have to use everything equally, or at least so that you can see that it was used. So for instance, even though I have a pencil in here, I'm not going to do a thing where, like with my normal work, where I draw with pencil first, then I ink it, then I erase the pencil. I need the pencil to show in the end. So I probably will use this one. It's probably it's an HB, so I'll probably use this one to do the initial sketch of whatever I'm going to do. But I also need to make sure at least some graphite, like maybe not the HB, like no one's going to look at it and be like, oh, I don't really see any HB graphite. You're not going to be able to tell in the end. But I want graphite to show, I want charcoal to show, and I want this pastel to show. So the paper I've chosen, this is a really tough lineup actually to have, you know, ink and then watercolor paint. And then acrylic, I'm pretty sure this is acrylic too. So this is all acrylic. At least acrylic is water-based too. Doing it with oil and watercolor might be even harder, especially since I don't have anything to use oil with. Anyway. And then of course doing this stuff. Since I've got multiple colors, and since I didn't really give myself much time to think about what I should draw, I think I'm just going to draw some eggs for Easter, because Easter's coming up, and it's also my birthday this year. I'm so excited about that. So I'm going to do, like, you know, we've got 4 colors to work with, plus I can do like shading on the colors or something like that, or shading around the outside. I wish I would have given myself some more time. It's just, it's been so hard to focus recently, so I haven't been planning things in advance as much as I like to. So in addition to this paper, I've got some paper towels. Already been used a couple different ones, but I figure since I've got this acrylic, I'm really going to want to clean my brushes, because normally I like to use watercolor because it just cleans out right away. Even if you let your brush dry, it'll just come right off. But with acrylic, if you let it dry on the brush, you're pretty much screwed. So I want to make sure I might have to go out and get more, but we'll see how it works out. And then I've also got a bowl of water to use for both the watercolor crayons and the acrylic paint. I also have all of my art supply box brushes, because I don't put the brushes into my spreadsheet, because it's kind of silly to say, oh, you have to use this brush, but then what if you end up getting all drawing supplies? You're not going to be able to use a brush. So I don't put them in the the spreadsheet to be drawn, but I figure since I'm doing all art supply subscription box stuff for this, I should use only art supply subscription box brushes. And I keep them all in a separate container anyway, so it's really handy. I'm going to keep that off to the side. There was something I thought of that I might need to... Maybe I should try to open these. Oh good, it opened really easy, just twisting it. Since I wanted to do Easter eggs, probably draw a few and then overlapping, some in the foreground, some in the background. Stuck on the top here. That's probably good enough. Put that away. And here's the other one. Ah, I know what I need. I think I need an easel for this acrylic. I'm definitely not going to get any acrylic out yet, though. Maybe I'll save the acrylic for the very end. I just don't like acrylic because it dries so fast. So it dries fast on your palette, it dries fast on your brush, and it dries fast on your page. Oh. This plastic likes to stick on the top here. Kind of bugs me. Yeah, whatever. Whatever, I'm going to take the cap off anyway. Well, I'm definitely going to start with the pencils. Or with a pencil to sketch. Draw some pretty Easter eggs. Pink, blue, red, and yellow. Let's see, let's draw one. One, as if it fell down. One fell down here. It looks kind of like a lemon. There, maybe that's better. Oh yeah, I forgot to pop out my chat. That's the other thing I was trying to remember to do. There we go. Didn't miss anything though, so that's good. Okay. And another egg. I'm going to draw the bottom higher up since it's back behind this egg, which is also behind this egg. With my personal rules for these lucky dips, I do allow myself to use a pencil and eraser that are not part of, you know, this drawing of supplies, but since I actually drew pencils this time, I'm just gonna go ahead and use these to sketch and not worry about an eraser. Let's have this one tilted a little bit. So red and yellow also means, actually this white is great because, so I was just like thinking Easter eggs, I don't know how these colors will go together with these. These are actually pretty good already for Easter eggs, but these are pretty intense, like maybe the yellow, but then I remembered, all right, you can mix in the white, so I can get maybe a different kind of pink than this. Then I can get a more gentle yellow color. Well, let's see, I've got 5 eggs drawn. Bear's laying down on a bag over there. Or he's trying. I don't know if that's being picked up on the microphone, but it's distracting me. Kind of looks like a nice amount of eggs. Maybe I will just stick with this. I could also just do stuff in the background too. That could be fun too if I paint in the background. Get this wet and just use these and just get some random kind of shapes. Then again, how am I going to use black charcoal and white charcoal and graphite? How am I going to do it? Could use them to shade on top of these eggs once I've got color on these eggs. Well, first let's do the background, like I said. That sounds fun. Let's start with that. Oh, this is kind of wobbly. I haven't used it very often. So in fact, I don't know if I've used it at all. It's kind of hard, like a brand new brush. This be good, or should I do a round brush? I just need to get the page wet right now. It doesn't matter. I should put my glasses on, but now right now is not gonna work because I'm trying to get this paper wet. Trying to get it wet, but only where I want. I don't want the water to go on the eggs, hopefully. And I've got to use that pen. This is a really hard lucky dip today, this month. Should have given myself more time. Well, hopefully in a couple, oh heck, maybe even by this time next week. Hopefully I'll be set up in my new studio at my new house and I can concentrate better since it won't be a shared space, like shared living, sleeping, whatever, everything space. It will only be for work. Hold it down in the egg section. Trying to make sure this is still wet. It's like it's already dried at the bottom, dang it. Well, I might have to keep wetting it down as I go. Okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm not sure what'll happen. Huh. Not what I was hoping for. Maybe gotta add more water. That's more like what I wanted. Oops. Should have thought of that. It makes me a really pretty purple color. Then more pink. like how the crayon looks on the watercolor paper. I was hoping for more like a burst of color though, not this sort of, I don't know. This is kind of boring. Yeah, I've got to color the whole thing in. The blue seems to really take over everything. Pink kind of surrenders to the blue and becomes purple, but the blue seems to hold its own. Well, it was an idea. Didn't work out. Didn't work out like I expected. I'm going to try to spread the pink, not put any blue down. Yeah, it's just like, it doesn't have as much power visually as the blue. Yeah, look at that. Blue spreads out so easily. You hardly have to touch it. It just bursts onto the page. Not so the pink. That's kind of sad because these were such bold colors in crayon form. Oh cool, you can spin these in and out. That's cool. I've seen ones you can spin before. I think they were Crank brand even. But it was like once you spun them, they were out for good. Well, hopefully this looks alright once I'm done. I think I'm going to do a little lines close to the eggs. I'm not very impressed so far. Like I said, I never used these before now. I received them in a box at a time when I was really behind on my Art Snack stuff. So I like opened it, put it in the spreadsheet, but never actually did anything with it. Yeah, I think maybe these are better used. Like put them on dry and get it all the way you want and then use the brush. Because I'm liking it more like this. I like this a lot better. I'm like actually having fun with it right now. Just spread this stuff all over the dang place. And that's what I needed to do all along, just get really heavy with it. Cover the whole thing. The solid, whatever this watercolor stuff is. Watercolor crayon. Yeah, it's getting really filled in. Now let's try the water. Trying to do the pink first because the dang blue just overtakes it. And if I do the pink first, then the blue can just like gently move into the wet pink areas. Ooh, I gotta be careful with flicking the water around. I haven't even started the actual eggs yet. I think these crayons would be best for someone who likes to work really large, because I could see how these would be really fun on a super big canvas. Put that out of the way. And it's like, oh shoot, no. Set that up with some paper towel. There. That's another reason why watercolor is so great. If you notice, you do something like that, you can save it. But I think these would be better for the kind of work where you have to stand back to really appreciate it. You know, you can get up close to look at the details and stuff, but it's most awesome when you step really far back and you're like, oh, look at it come together, you know, like pointillism and that kind of thing. And so you could use these crayons to get that kind of effect, doing it on a really huge piece of paper. and not working in small detail like I like to do. Ooh-wee. Just pat some water here and there, get some more random look to it. So I want it to sort of be cloudy, I guess. And this, I don't remember what it's called, it's like Furil or something, but it's super loose. Okay, I think I might be done with these, but I'm not sure. I'm just gonna put the caps on for now. I'm gonna have to give this some time to dry. At least I know for sure this is the blue cap. I guess I got some of the blue on there. I don't know if you can see. Well, I got some blue on it. I guess I could take this drying time and kind of think about what I should do next, because I somehow have to use this pen, but I don't think it will show up. If I use this acrylic after the pen, if I say draw stuff on the eggs with this pen, this acrylic will just cover it up. Maybe it will show in areas where I, you know, didn't do a smooth line or something, but it won't look very neat. And a lot of it will be covered up. But if I use this to do lines on the eggs, since this I believe is acrylic paint as well, it doesn't say, it just says paint marker. It's probably acrylic. Maybe I'll use this once this background is all dry, which is going to take a while because it is sopping wet. And I could just do some, like, I don't know, swirly patterns, you know, Zentangle kind of thing or something like that. But another thing is how to use the graphite, charcoal, and white charcoal. And graphite and charcoal don't always play nice together. If you have a lot of graphite down, sometimes the charcoal won't stick, like on top or near it. Dang, this is such a tough challenge. Okay, so this I use in the background. Maybe this I'll just use to outline the eggs. And they'll just have a nice big thick black outline. This I'll use to color the eggs. Or I wonder if I could use this to do some designs on the eggs too. I'm really thinking the best use of these is just highlight and shadow on the eggs once they're done. I think as long as I keep this acrylic really thin, but then what's the point of acrylic if I just use it like watercolor anyway? Grr, it's hard to decide what to do. If I use them thin, if I apply them thin, then these will show up on top of the acrylic. But if I use the acrylic thick, which is what separates it from the look of watercolor, these won't really show up very well. But I've got to make sure to use everything. I guess that's more important. Using everything is more important than making everything stand out in its best possible way, I guess. So what should I do first then? I might not be able to do anything until this is dry. Maybe like swirl the water around. It'll make cool shapes, and then it will also help this dry faster. Well, not shapes, it'll make cool texture. And maybe some lines. Just letting it drip down. Move faster, but don't drip into the dry area. And I think maybe what I'll do is do these colors. I'll just give the eggs each a wash of color. And I could start with undiluted red and yellow, and then dilute them with white and do another couple eggs. Ooh, and I could do a mix too, because if I mix them I can get orange. This is really making me have to think. Still not quite dry. I mean, it's nowhere near dry, but I want it to be a little more dry than this, even if it's not 100%. Like, well, there's still huge blobs of water. At least these lamps are super, get this one closer. These lamps are super hot. So hopefully they'll help this dry. I hold this down like this. I guess while I'm letting this dry, I could get my palette out super nasty acrylic paint palette. It's just a wreck. I think I've tried to even sand this down, but some of them are just so on there. Maybe if I had some sort of like buffing sander instead of like plain sandpaper. I'm gonna set this over here. I can at least get some paint out. I'll be generous with it. Ooh, I don't want to get it on myself. Some red. And then red for mixing with the yellow. Don't need as much. Some red for mixing with white. And some yellow. And add some yellow to that. Oh, it's going to be more yellow. That's okay. And then some yellow for mixing with white. And let's get the white out. White out. I do like white acrylic paint. It's useful the same way as other white drawing materials are for adding those final highlights that are so satisfying at the end of a piece. Okay, I'm trying to find a paintbrush that has a really small end so I can use it to mix. Oh, maybe this one. Yeah. Man, is this paint dry or what? Get some water. This white is kind of dry. I don't really enjoy doing this. It's like presented always as so cool. Oh, look, you only need a few basic colors and you can mix any color you want. I don't like it. I just like to pour out the color that I want from the tube. Or maybe mix on the page. But you can't really do that with acrylic. Not the way you can with watercolor. Should I leave it at that, or should I lighten it up even more? I guess I want it to be a different color than this pink. I mean, it's guaranteed to be, but... And maybe it shouldn't be too different from that red. Okay, clean this off. I want to make sure no acrylic gets stuck to the bottom of the bowl. Even though it's a bowl of water, it can still get stuck there. Okay, and let's get the end wet, add a little water. This is bad. It looks like mustard. It's making me hungry. But I'm really saving my calories today. I'm eating the smallest little under 100 calories snacks and lunch. Because we're going to see Ponyo tonight in theaters. And we're going to the theater that has what they call VIP 21. It's 21 and older. You can order actual like dinner, like sit down restaurant dinner. And you can order alcoholic drinks. Though I don't like to drink on weekdays because it totally messes up my sleep. So I won't be doing that, but I'm going to be ordering dinner. So I'm especially hungry right now, trying to save calories for that. Because I'm still determined to be under 1,500 and if possible 1,400 kilocalories a day. Because I've been doing really well dropping fat percentage. I've dropped like 3 or 4% since I started. Since I started this at the end of December. Because it's really coming down to the wire. I've only got like 2 months until Anime Oasis at the end of May. And I want to cosplay a female version of All Might. So I've really got to stick to it. My goal for being at my ideal body fat percentage was actually going to be my birthday. And that's next Sunday, so that's not happening. So I'm just going to keep going until I reach my ideal number. Well, it's actually more about what my body is looking like. I've still got a little pooch for a belly. All Might has no pooch. I want at least my belly to be small enough that I could wear a compression shirt and no one would know. Like, it's not small enough yet that I could hide it like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but come on, All Might, his thing is that he's huge. I need to be huge. Did my weightlifting class this morning. Feel really good because of that. It's weird. When you do a really hard workout, it's like it's energizing, but also it's like physically exhausting. Make sure there's no paint left on here. But mentally energizing. Alright. So, yeah, this is still pretty wet, but I'm going to just go ahead because I've mixed the paints. I don't want to wait. This is acrylic, it's going to dry fast. The bottom's pretty dry though, so I'll start at the bottom here. And I'm going to start with the orange because it makes sense to me to have like, you know, a red one, a yellow one, and an orange one there. Even applying it thinly, I think I'll still get the effect of, I think it'll still be clear that this was not watercolor. Especially to anyone who's able to like actually touch this, because acrylic dries with a totally different finish than, say, opaque watercolor, which is also called gouache. Gouache dries with a, I really like it, it's like a, what would you call it? Kind of powdery. It's like a powdery finish. But acrylic, as its name suggests, it's made of plastic. So it's really smooth when it dries. Trying to be careful of the edges, though I'm going to outline it so I don't have to be as absolutely precise as I might need to. But I do want to make this nice and smooth, this texture for the eggs, so that the graphite and charcoal and pastel pencil all look, they all come out nice on here. And I use them for shading. Yeah, I think I've got this figured out. Use those for shading. And I'll use that Crink paint marker to draw like traditional Easter egg lines and dots and stuff. Oh man, this water is getting filthy. It looks really nasty. It looks like puke water. It's so bad. It looks terrible. Whew, I almost put my hand in this paint on this paper towel. It's another thing that I prefer watercolor to acrylic, because the paper towels, I can let them dry and use them again. But with acrylic, the acrylic dries on it and it that area of paper towel becomes useless. Okay, that's probably good enough. Now, let's do yellow. Oh, this is more pretty than I thought it would be with the background colors. I might be happy with this one I've finished. I got such a weird assortment of stuff that I wasn't feeling hopeful about liking my end result. But there's hope now when I'm seeing them next to each other. There's still the chance for me to make it so that I don't like it though. I have to put another layer of yellow on here. It's not covering the graphite. Right here, you can see through. For some reason, I just remembered my 3rd grade school. I went to a different school every year, and it was the best school. And I remember how there was an art class, like you went to art class. It was once a week. They had special classes, like at every, like one, there was like a, I don't remember if it was science or math. It might have been both, but I remember loving watching, we watched these videos, and I was just fascinated by them every time, and I can't even remember what they were. It might have been some PBS thing or who knows, but I remembered my art class, and I remembered I made an actual print, like you roll the color onto the like rubber thing that you carved, and then you put it in the printing press and out comes your picture. And I think I might still have it somewhere. I don't know why I thought of that just now. Maybe something about this yellow. I want this to be smooth, but I need to add more because this is not getting covered up. I just have to let it be. Let's wipe that off. Too much paint right there. Oh crap, no, but oh well, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. These lucky dips are mostly for me to just practice doing stuff that I would never otherwise do. It's really helpful for keeping you on your toes. And I think it makes you even better at what you like to do, what you prefer to do. I think practicing something like this helps improve other areas of art too. Because you think of things, techniques, or ways of making things work that you otherwise wouldn't have, and then you can apply those new ideas, you can apply that to the old stuff that you prefer to use. It's like, I don't know if the brush is still dirty or if it's just because the water is so dirty and that's why this is coming out. I'm definitely going to have to properly wash this brush too, because the acrylic, if you don't do that, your brush is going to get all crunchy And sometimes it can be so bad that your brush is unusable if you don't properly wash it after using acrylic paint. Watercolor paint, I just rinse it out with water. Because even if it dries with watercolor in the brush, it'll just get dissolved as soon as it hits water again. This is a lovely color. I feel like the bottle doesn't do it justice. Yeah, it's so much brighter, but maybe it'll dry darker. I think that's how it works with acrylic. It's the opposite of watercolor. Watercolor dries lighter because the water is tinting the paper simply because paper gets gray when it gets wet. So it makes all your watercolors look darker than they are, but acrylic covers the paper. I think it dries the opposite way. I think it dries darker. Well, they look more like jelly beans right now than Easter eggs. But whatever. I'm happy with how they're looking, even if it's not the colors I would pick if I would just decided to draw Easter eggs randomly and not have the restriction of the materials. Kiba's meowing at me. Or who knows if he's meowing at me. He likes to meow at himself. Oh, he's looking right at me. Oh, you little cutie. You little cutie. What do you want? What do you want, boy? He's looking right at me from behind my chair. Yeah, that looks good. So maybe I will reverse these next two colors. Man, my water is just so filthy. So I'll do the pink over here and that light yellow over here. So they're not next to one another. I don't want to do the light yellow right next to the regular yellow. Hopefully that's nice and clean. Now this background is getting dry, but there's still some really, really wet patches. Hope I didn't get too much paint. I just realized I don't need to paint a full egg size. It's only like a quarter of an egg. It's very small. I'll wipe some off on here. Kibi. Kiba's still meowing. If you can hear him, that's Kiba. Kiba likes to be heard. Likes to talk while I'm filming. Once I moved into my new studio, I'm not going to let the kitties in. I'm not going to let them into the room. I just don't want their furs all over my art anymore, all over my screen. The screen attracts the hairs and they stick to it because of static electricity and stuff. Just need to clean my brush a little bit. I got too much paint. So it wasn't smoothing out like I wanted it to on this egg. I don't think I've gotten one as smooth as that first orange egg. It's just not coming out as smooth. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm now working with the driest paint. This is looking kind of nice, actually. And I'm going to add a bunch of black and gray to it and it'll become all dark and dismal. No, hopefully not. Okay. Light yellow egg. There's a dang little kitty hair on my palette. Okay, I gotta remember. I don't need that much. I don't need that much paint. Got too much for the pink one, but now I have to keep getting extra for the yellow. Water. Dip my brush in the water. Maybe that'll help smooth this out a little bit. But the water is orange, so it's kind of tinting my yellow. Dang it. Just can't get it smooth. Well, that's just gonna have to be how it is. Just won't be smooth. Okay, I need to let this dry. So while I'm letting this dry, I'm gonna change my water because I might not need any water, so I think I'll just rinse out this bowl so the acrylic doesn't dry on it. Okay, I've got that bowl sitting with clean water in it and the brush too, and I'll clean it properly after I'm done with this. I can't be sure, since acrylic is plastic, it dries with a reflective sheen. Pretty sure this is dry, but I don't know about this red. Guess I can also, so let's see, done with this stuff. Stuff I'm still using, stuff I'm done with. Keep them visible so you can see what I did use. Blast these. There. So I won't need these paper towels anymore. I'm gonna use them to wipe up this paint so it doesn't dry on my palette like so much else has. Oh my gosh, I hate acrylic paint. It's so messy. I don't like messy stuff. Put that in the trash. Man. Okay, be right back. I gotta wipe this off more. Okay, I'm back. My hand is ice cold. You can't tell the difference. Dang it. This one is freezing. You gotta use cold water to clean acrylic, or else it will harden. Hot water hardens it, so you can't clean it off. You'll just be solidifying it in place. My hand is so cold. Surely these are dry by now. They're acrylics, so they should dry relatively fast. These might need just the tiniest bit longer, but these ones in the front, for a really flat application like this, these should all be good. If you're doing really thick acrylic, then it needs more dry time, but okay, let's see, what should we do? Dang it, Kiwi. I think he wants me to feed him, but he's gonna have to wait until I'm done. Okay, I'll go to the 2B. Where should I have our light source coming from? Maybe this way, so that it hits the big part of this egg here. So now this is just going to kind of be an exercise in basic drawing techniques. If this is going to work, I don't know if it's going to work. The graphite is not coming off. I'm going to have to do something else with the graphite. Maybe I'll use the graphite to do shadows underneath the eggs. Let's see if the little hair on here. Let's see if the charcoal does anything. Okay. This is at least coming off on the egg and the acrylic paint. Wow, you can really see the brush strokes. I don't like how extremely dark it is. Oh well. That's why it's a challenge. Lucky dip challenge. I never put my glasses on, dang it. I'm starting to regret it. Won't be able to reverse the headache that's forming, but maybe I will prevent it from getting worse. My eye doctors told me that you've got to remember to put your glasses on first before you get a headache, because they're not going to help you afterwards. And that's the truth. Let's use so I was using the medium. I want to use the soft and maybe get some even darker application. Yep, it's just like being in Foundations art class. Shade an egg. I wonder if I should do the white charcoal. I just washed all my acrylic stuff, but I realized I could use my acrylic too. My acrylic white to do highlights. What the heck? Little flecks of stuff getting on here, dang it. No. Okay. Go through and do all the eggs the same way. So we're starting with, yes, the medium. Actually, this egg kind of confuses me. It's hard for me to tell where I should be doing this. Okay. Charcoal's coming off much better on this orange egg. I don't know why that is. This one doesn't even look right. It doesn't look like an egg. Maybe once I draw the black lines around it, it'll look better. Oh, whatever. Moving on. Moving on. Let's do the red egg. I think the background is nice and dry. Yay! So I'll be able to do the graphite, and I'll be able to do the what was I? Oh yeah, the Micron pen. Move on to the soft. This is cool. I'm getting the texture of the paper through the acrylic. I'm getting the acrylic, the texture of the brush strokes in the acrylic is showing up, but also the paper behind it is showing up. That's really neat. Son, what are you doing? Someone at the door? Don't bark, boy. There's no one there. Someone wants to bark at someone, but there's no one there. There was someone earlier. They didn't see the no solicitors sign. Trying to get me to come to their church for Easter. It's like, I don't care how nice you are. If it says no solicitors, that means no solicitors. But at least they left quickly. They just handed me a pamphlet, said what it was for, and I said thank you, and they said bye. I think the fact that I didn't open the screen door between us, maybe that gave them a hint. They weren't exactly welcome. It's also weird that they came to the door that I'm at, because it's not the front door, it's the side door. But I guess you might not know that if you came walking up the one street and you didn't see the front of the house yet. And you're like, oh, look, a door, let's go ring the doorbell. And not read the no solicitor sign. Admittedly, the sign is not on the actual door, so maybe they just didn't look very hard. But I think really good solicitors make a conscious effort to look. Because I've heard that before. I've heard that from people who have done those kind of jobs. They're trying to sell satellite or trying to sell vacuum or something. And they'll look around the front door before they knock or whatever. I really appreciate that. I don't like pushy people who ignore the sign. Because at my previous house, it was obvious. You couldn't miss it. You had to open the door that it was on before you could knock on the door. And people would knock on it anyway. And it was weird because they were usually people who came really late too. And one guy tried to like get the sympathy vote with me or something. He's like, yeah, I've been out here all day. Can I just come in for 5 minutes and show you this? And I've been working hard. I just need to do one more show. And I'm like, sorry, dude. It's not my problem. You're the one who didn't read the sign. You could be spending your time on someone who doesn't have a no solicitor sign. So please just 5 minutes, just 2 minutes. Just 1 minute of your time. No. See now that's okay. I think that's good enough of this. I don't want to dull down the color by adding too much of this black shading stuff. So since I don't think that this would look good over this, because if I recall this correctly, another little kitty hair, it makes a really thick like bulbous line. I can't think of the word, but I think that it would look terrible if I try to draw this on top of this. I'm going to put this on this nice flat surface, and then I'll just draw this on top. Guess I shouldn't keep saying this and this and this when I'm talking about multiple things. But I'm done now, so it's okay. Oh, blast it. This is not going to work at all. Nope. Okay, it works on the orange. That's good. It works on the orange. It's not coming off at all on the yellow. Come on. Yeah, there's something about this yellow is really, it's especially plasticky, and so maybe the graphite would have worked on the orange. The graphite didn't work. It was the same thing. It was the same feeling using the graphite and using this white pastel pencil. Was the same feeling on that yellow egg. This was not pulling any particles off at all. I don't know if there's even any point doing it on this yellow egg because it's already so bright. But it is coming off, so I'll do it. This pink one. What the heck, yellow paint? Why are you so weird? Why are you so different? Why is your dried texture different? Maybe I applied it thicker than the other ones. Trying to force it. Come off. It won't. I did a little bit down here, but it won't pull anything from this pencil. Okay. Blow away the excess particles. Okay, next I was going to use the graphite to do shadows. down here. Now this is nice and dry. Maybe I need to use this 2H actually. I mean, use the HB. This is working really good. And I even have a reason to use this 6B, which is the most softest pencil. This little corner definitely be super dark. Maybe right here too. Okay, use the lightest one again, HB. And 2B. Keep off. I don't even know where he is. Expected to see him behind me. He's not there. Heard him meow. This is looking kind of cool. Still got 2 more things to go though. Still 2 more chances to make it something that I don't like. This up a little bit. Thinking this edge should be casting shadow on this orange one, so I need to add a little bit more here. Maybe here too, the reflected light that I was leaving space for would be obscured by this orange egg, perhaps. Just using my imagination. Okay, I feel satisfied with my use of the pencils. The pencil set. I used every single one. So now I think I will use this first because it will dry faster than this will. I'm not sure what I should do. Maybe I'll just draw like really stylized, simple flowers like growing out. Yeah. This is kind of fun with the background. Yeah, that's fun, because then it's following the curve of the egg. I'm trying not to smudge the eggs. Be really careful. There. Maybe I'll do there. Kind of fill in the space evenly. I kind of want to do some more lines, just sort of like nonsense repetition lines. Follow the petal patterns and stuff, just to fill in a little bit more. Yeah, like it's making it more energetic. That's what I want. It's more energetic. And it's making the flowers stand out less, and that's okay because I didn't want flowers to be the focus anyway. I wanted the eggs to be the focus. Easter eggs. There. I don't feel satisfied with that. Let's go to this. I don't know if you need to shake it. Let's see. Remove cap, press rubber bulb once or twice. Do not over pump. Writes on most surfaces. Okay. Oh wait. To re-ink, push bulb once. Wipe tip before storing. Tip side up. Well, I store it horizontally like most things, so hopefully that's not ruined it or something. Yeah. A little scratch paper. Okay. Press the lead bulb. Whoa! Glad I did that. It kind of exploded out. Oh gosh. Comes out like... Ooh, and it stinks too. Can't really see on the camera, but this is like really thick, just as I remembered. It's like coming out only on one side. Ugh. Well, here we go. I've got to be careful. This is ridiculous. This is not good for this application. Oh my gosh. It's not sticking. It's cutting a hole through its own goop. I might not put decorations on this because this is just terrible. Oh no. Okay, it's doing a little better. But I don't know about decorating the eggs with this. Ugh. No, this thing is awful. Maybe I'll just do, let's see. I don't pull it fast enough. This is terrible. Oh my god, I do not like this at all. I do not like this at all. Oh my god. It was looking so pretty. Now it looks weird. Ugh. Ugh. Well, whatever. Gotta finish it. Gotta finish this. I'm just gonna let those lines be in there because trying to fix them is doing nothing. Oh man, I can't believe this. Ugh. Well, there it is. Oh my god. I'm extremely amused by how horrible this looks now. You know what though? It looks like it was on purpose. I mean, it was on purpose, but I didn't expect the result. I don't know. Should I decorate the eggs, or maybe I should just leave them? Ugh. I think I'm gonna leave them. I don't think I'm gonna decorate them like Easter eggs. Because it's just gonna get all the shading and stuff I did was just gonna be lost. Maybe I could just do a band. Maybe that's what I'll do. Just do a band. Like dot, 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 dot. And then like something like that. No. This is unbelievable. Yeah, Adidas egg, because it's 3 stripes. What do I do for this one? Zigzag? Oh shit. Oops, it's supposed to be all ages channel. I got paint. Man, I already used some. God. Okay. Dang, this is dangerous. Okay, zigzag. Alright, zigzag, zig, zig. This is the Charlie Brown egg. Okay, that's good. I need to go get another paper towel, but I just want to finish this first. So let's sign this crazy thing. And there we go. This black paint still has needs to dry, but this is pretty much it. I don't think it'll dry any less shiny than it already is. So this is my Lucky Dip, the 5th one I've ever done on video or not, and it used these 2 watercolor crayons, these 3 tubes of paint, acrylic paint, this entire set of graphite, charcoal, and pastel pencils, this ink pen, and this paint pen. And they were all selected randomly using random.org. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching.